Hi Jay, we're just before the start of the season. Pre-season ended on Saturday. Your initial thoughts on how that went?
Yeah, I think I said to you after the game Saturday, pleased overall. I think the main things are that the boys have come together with a new group. Obviously, a lot of new signings. It can take time to gel. I think that as a group off the pitch, they're coming together well. I think the Leeds trip was a big part of that. Secondly, injury-wise, we've come through it pretty much unscathed, touch wood, bar one or two little niggles, so that's a bonus as well. So all in all, yeah, you have to be pleased with how it's gone. Results are never the biggest thing, but at the same time, you obviously don't want to lose all your games because there comes that worry. But so the results have been positive, but there's still a lot of work to do, and I think we'll get better as the season goes on. Is my initial thought.
Yeah, how happy are you with the recruitment? You've brought in some lads, obviously you've worked in before, but I assume you knew who else you wanted and you've got some of them in as well.
Really happy. Look, you never, I think any manager will tell you, never get every single player you want. There's ones we've missed out on, but I like all the players we've signed, the players that we earmarked and wanted to get in, and we was fortunate to get some of them in early. You get the players that are a little bit more unknown, like your Donnells that have come in and done really well and earned themselves a deal, and young Dylan who's earned himself a deal. So there's always bonuses to it. But yeah, no, really pleased. I think we've got a nice blend. When I come in, as I said, the defensive side of it was an area I felt that needed strengthening. I feel we've done that quite early on with the additions of Ollie, Liam and Locko. Add to that Ben and Mons, and obviously now Ted in goal. So from that side of it, it's a positive. And going forward, we've made some good additions, and so yeah, all in all, really pleased. And looking forward to continuing to work with them. And as the season goes on, I'm sure there'll be other players come in. It always happens, but if they're the right ones, then we'll look at them.
Yeah, so you mentioned Ted there. Tell us a bit more about him. He's come in. He was Chelmsford's #1 last year, so that looks like a decent pedigree. Yeah,
look, Ted obviously played against us, done well last year. He's a good age, knows a couple of the boys, Jake and Donnell, from his time at Colchester, and we spoke to him earlier in pre-season, and at the time he was in a team in the National League and kind of was seeing what could happen there, being full-time and stuff. But he did say, if that doesn't work out, I'll be in touch. So we were patient with it. We also had a sort of other keepers. You always have them other ones on the back burner if it doesn't happen. But when he got in contact and said, "Yeah, look, can we make something happen?" It was a no-brainer for me. Like I say, he's still willing to learn. Good attitude. He's got a good calmness about him. Kicks really well. And I think he's got every attribute to really be a good addition for us.
Yeah, to speak a little bit about Dylan as well.
Dylan's a young lad. God, I've known Dylan since probably he was about 8. From the time at Maidstone, he was in the kids' teams there, and I know his parents. He's got a good family behind him, and he's a really grounded, level-headed boy, and sort of got in touch to come in pre-season through a friend of mine, Lee Spiller, that coaches him, and sort of said, look, can we have him in to do some training? And he come in with young Sonny as well, from the same background, and to be fair to lads, they've done really well for young boys. And he's only 16, but he's someone that's sort of done well enough, I think, to be offered something. He's probably someone we'll keep around the squad early doors, and then look to maybe loan him out and get him some experience, because it's a big jump going from youth football straight into the Isthmian Prem. So, but he's someone I believe that's got a future, and it's something I spoke to the chairman. Like we sort of said, look, if there's young boys that we can get under our wing and mould them and get them out on loans and keep them under us, then it's something we'll look at doing. So I think it's good to have them young lads as well.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier the Leeds trip and the bonding of the squad. As a new group, how do you feel that they have started to come together at this point?
Yeah, really well. I won't lie, the first few sessions very quiet, and it's everyone getting to know each other, and you get people away on holiday and things like that. And then when we first come in, I had a chat with Josh and sort of said, look, can we do something? I know last year they did a trip to the O2, I think, or something like that, for boxing, and I just kind of said, look, I've always liked these trips away. I think it's important, especially when you've got the amount of lads we have. And we chose the hotel rooms, so it weren't they got a choice. I sort of sat down and made sure that we put people in that are not mates. They need to get to know each other. And it was a real worthwhile exercise, and I think you've seen since then the atmosphere is a lot louder. You probably saw from the media day, they're a lot more together, and it was a really good worthwhile exercise. The other side to that was the game as well. It wasn't just a jolly boys outing and go out and have a drink. It was a worthwhile exercise. We had a really competitive game up there against Bradford, and for me that was a real worthwhile exercise. So I'm pleased with how that went, and I'm sure it's something we'll look to do again in the future.
Yeah, you mentioned the media day there. We also went down, played a bit of paddle by the ground, so they've had quite a decent chance to get to know each other. How do you think that maybe being on away trips has maybe affected that?
Yeah, look, it's we're kind of ready to be away from home start of the season, I guess. We've done all whole pre-season. It's the way it is. And do you know what's pleased me? The boys haven't mentioned it once. It's kind of just been they want to get the season going. They want to get on with their jobs. So for us, everyone knows the situation. Is it ideal? I think anyone would tell you it's probably not. It's a tough start for us, but we're just looking forward to it. I think the results, to be able to go to places like Tunbridge, Dover and Hornchurch at the end against higher opposition and putting good performances, I think stands in good stead. It gives the boys a bit of confidence. But as I said on Saturday, it's pre-season, so they're not getting carried away with it. We got a really tough opening game at Chichester, a really good side, really well drilled. Know their manager well from his time at Bognor, managing against him. So they'll be a really good side, and it's a tough opener. But again, it's one we're looking forward to. Yeah,
you mentioned Chichester. Obviously, we're going to that on Saturday. Then Cray Wanderers Tuesday, Canvey Island the following Saturday. It's a tough start on paper.
I am. I've always been one though. You have to play everyone and just get on with it. Really, it's we will prepare as well we can and as best we can. And I think the boys are a good group. We've got good depth to the squad, and I feel that everyone's ready and chomping at the bit. And as I've said to them since the start of pre-season, they're being judged from that first pre-season game. Go and earn the shirt. And to be fair, there's not many there that I go, yeah, I can leave him out quite easily and not have to think about it. There's a lot of players that deserve to start that first game. Obviously, I'm not able to start everyone, but it's good to have them options.
You've also mentioned in the last couple of weeks about maybe getting a decent start going into those first couple of months before we then come back home and maybe giving ourselves a platform to build on.
Yeah, look, you want to, like, if we can, there's no doubt about it, if we can have a good start away from home and rack up good points, then you're going to have a lot of home games at some point. But it's not always, football don't always work like that. So we're just taking it a game at a time. We've got Chichester, all our focus this week's on that. We're prepared tonight and Thursday night and be ready to go on that opening game, and then after that, once that's done at the end of the game, we'll start concentrating on Cray.
Yeah, it's not a slow start of the season, straight into 2 games to kick things off.
No, look, but you got to play them, and everyone's in the same boat, I suppose. So it's we don't think about that. We concentrate on ourselves and making sure that we're prepared right, and try and go out and open with a win at Chichester. But we know it's going to be a tough one.
Anyway, cheers for your time, Jay, and looking forward to Saturday.
Brilliant. Cheers, Al.